The Finest Hours is directed by Craig Gillespie. It stars Chris Pine, Ben Foster, Casey Affleck, Eric Bana, Kyle Gallner, John Magaro, Graham McTavish, Holliday Grainger, and this is a big cast. I'm sorry. The Finest Hours was really actually a surprise for me, even before I went to see it, just because I saw some of this footage back at D23, and this is a Disney movie. D23 is the Disney convention that they held, and I was really shocked to see this because I didn't hear any marketing behind this at all, and Disney doesn't often tackle movies like this, big live action, CGI filled. I know they did Lone Ranger and John Carter, but this is obviously a little more grounded than both of those. This is based on a true story. This is based on a novel. These are real people. This is a real event. This is history. You can Google it if you want to. Artistic liberties are taken, of course, but this is still based on a true story and based on true events, and they do handle that subject matter with a lot of care. So the big question in a movie like this is it good? I mean, that's a question with every movie, but is this a good movie? And yes, it is, actually. This is a good movie. It's not a great movie. There are some problems I have with it that are kind of true with a lot of disaster-style movies, which this kind of plays out as, and that is that there is a big disconnect between the characters and the audience in that you care about them because they're people, but you don't actually care really about any single one of them because they never give the time to properly develop them. The biggest problem I actually had with this movie is the love angle between Chris Pine, Bernie Weber, and Holliday Grainger's Miriam, because it starts the film off, and then once the movie gets going, it still is trying to focus on that. Like, that is the anchor of this film, is you're wanting Bernie to get back home to Miriam because of their relationship, this love they have for one another, and it just doesn't work. It's not introduced well, it's not developed well, and then when they keep calling back on it, it feels incredibly forced. Grainger isn't given a lot to work with, and it's just never believable. There's really no reason to care for them besides they're people, and you hope people are happy, but it just doesn't work between the two of them. Pine is actually really, really good in this. I was really surprised. I'm not an expert on Boston accents, but he sounded, good enough for me. It sounded really good. Casey Affleck's really good with what he's given to work with. This is a very well-acted movie, but again, the problem draws back to a lot of these characters aren't given that much to work with. This is very much a flat story. They're going to go from point A to point B and point C, and that's exactly the line the story follows on, without really ever having the emotional development of any of these characters. From Pine to Grainger to Affleck, all the way down. The special effects are surprisingly really good. There's some CGI. Of course, you're going to have that in a big disaster movie, but it's actually really good for the most part. The ships look good. The waves look good. I was surprised by this. It does take place almost exclusively at night, so there is some dark lighting issues, but the effect of the ocean, they actually use it well. There is some shaky cam style footage, but it actually works in this case because they're on the ocean. Here's a storm. There's these rocky waves, and it actually does give you a little bit of this kind of almost seasickness type feel because of how much of a jarring effect it has on you. Look, there's not too much to overanalyze with this movie. This is a disaster flick. To me, this is the perfect kind of popcorn movie because it has characters that you don't know too much about, but you still care about them. It's well acted. The special effects are really good, surprisingly good, and there's a good message of courage, bravery, and this is a true story that pays homage and it honors the people that were involved in it, and it does that in a very nice way. The romance angle doesn't work at all. It never works from start to finish, really, and that continues throughout the film, and when they keep cutting back to it, it is a distraction, and it does take you out of it. But when you get caught into that moment where the film is actually flowing well, where the action's going well, the drama's there, the tension's there, it works really well, and that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. It's not going to win any awards. This isn't one of those movies that you were going to go see on opening night anyway. I saw it a few nights after, but this is still a fun, good movie to see with a good message to it about, again, courage, bravery, humanity, going against all odds. And for that reason alone, I'm going to give it a solid 7. Again, go check it out if you're looking for kind of a good message movie, a good little true story biopic sort of period piece. It's really good. You're not going to leave this disappointed. Is it kind of like A Perfect Storm? Yeah, that's not really a spoiler. It's it's a boat movie on the ocean, but it's different enough, and the performances are good enough, and the story works well enough to the point where it should be enjoyable. So that's all I have for The Finest Hours. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Let me know. Comment, subscribe, like. We'll check you guys next time. Thanks.